8:15 anyway.
Good evening, and welcome to the Carver Conservation Commission public hearing, or public meeting of Wednesday, July 21st, 2021. The order of business on our agenda, the first item is Lot 201A Tremont Street, the wall.
He requested a continuance.
All right,
Yep,
so that will be
working on the wall.
continued
Yep.
until,
Well, we're probably not going to have a meeting on the 4th because that's the only
Okay.
thing that's on. So we
okay,
can wait till the 18th,
okay.
right?
So we'll just say that's
So I'll let him
continued
know,
to 8/18. Okay. The site visit with the,
May I ask what time he asked for that? Because I called in and nobody told me that.
Well, he,
What, on Tremont?
on the
Yeah.
continuance, he probably a week or so ago.
Have
Yeah,
a nice evening.
okay. I mean, we don't have to post that. All he has to do is request a continuance. We don't
Right.
have to notify abutters.
right, okay.
He said
All right.
signs, and they never do, but.
Site visit with the Buzzards Bay Coalition.
Yeah, we've set that up for Thursday, July 29th at 9 o'clock at 44 Lakeview.
Okay,
And that's just to have them take a look at take a look at it and give us
9
some
a.m.?
ideas. Yeah. 29th at 9.
okay. And that is with
With Brendan Arnett.
Brendan.
And I think their land management person, remember they came on the other site visit for the other?
Yeah, the younger kid.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. And that's, okay. So we'll need to post that.
Oh, well,
Why?
okay.
No?
Do we? I don't know.
No, why? We don't post
Probably
any other
not.
site visits, and we own that property, so why do we have to post it?
Yeah, probably not,
Not a
because it's
public
not
meeting.
like a public,
The public's not invited.
Okay,
I mean, anybody could come, but I don't think,
We'll just disinvite.
we need to post it.
Yeah, there's no need of posting.
No,
all right.
okay.
You got plenty of time, you might as well do the minutes, no?
Yeah, we have new hearings tonight, so,
You know, on this 17 Wareham Street, I drove by there today. Is it me, or is there a whole lot more logs in that bog area?
There's a whole lot more logs.
That's what I thought. We didn't allow that.
We allowed some up, the corner.
Yeah, but we didn't
closest.
allow 3 trailer loads to be brought in and piled up, and you can see it from the street. So this could very well be where some of this is coming from.
Yeah.
it very well could be. What we were told on the site visit was that, that it's almost like a staging area. He's having truckloads come in, and he sends them back out log length.
Yeah, so they're
He
only
doesn't cut them, he
temporary.
doesn't process them. He's like a distributor.
And they're only there temporarily, so they come in and they go out.
Yeah.
But he's still working late at night, isn't he?
I don't, there are claims that he is, but there's been no proof. There's no videos, and he says he's not.
I
And the-
didn't
and the
think that
person
we
that works
allowed
for him
any
says
work
it's
to
not.
go on that bog. I
Yeah,
thought
we
that
did.
We
him
allowed
to-
him to utilize the corner for wood storage.
Yeah,
Nearest the house.
Yes.
closest to the, the parking lot nearest
Yeah,
his
farthest
garage.
away from the river. The corner farthest
Yeah.
away from the river.
Well, I am trying to set something up with Bruce Benson, and he wanted to meet with Rick LaFond and Sarah Hewins, and, possibly a couple, of you guys, and building commissioner, but that's probably not gonna happen, so I'm trying to get something.
Okay.
He wants to talk to everybody. And Rick wanted to have a policeman there, because a couple of his complaints were, harassment, vandalism, stuff like that, so which isn't our thing, so.
Right.
So I am trying to set that up. I'll let you know if I do and if you want to come.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the July 7th, 2021 minutes as written.
Second.
All right, just give me a second. I did not have a chance to look at these. All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of July 21st, 2021. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None? Approved 4-0. All right. Now, our first hearing is not until 7:15, so we need to wait.
Yeah. Anything else we need to talk about? I can't think of anything.
If the applicant is ready and the board wants to allow it, we can certainly take it 5 minutes early without, if somebody should walk in between now and 7:15, we'd give them an opportunity to speak if they wanted to.
Well, don't we need to give them the opportunity to hear the presentation as well?
I mean, chances are there's not
I
going
think
to
it's
be.
pro forma that we wait until the time.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, not that I think it's going to happen, but...
You want to jump ahead and take, well, probably can't take Yule then either, right? That's 7:30.
No.
Why are we putting these times in?
Well, typically, we're not done this early. Typically,
Why
we
don't
have
we,
discussions
why don't
that
we
go.
stop doing the times?
We could, but
There's no need of it. People come here at 7 o'clock, and if it goes,
Yeah.
if the 7:30 hearing goes till 8:30, the guy that's at 7:45 doesn't get heard till 8:45.
I mean, a lot of commissions do it that way. They'll just say, everybody show up at 7.
Yeah,
and then you
7
get there.
o'clock.
Yeah.
The only
I
problem with
agree.
that is
I
when
agree.
you get there and, you look at the agenda and you're like 15th on the agenda, or not in this case, but in other towns, then you're like, oh my God, I could have, stayed home for 2 more hours.
I think we keep them in order. I think we keep them in order at a 15-minute space in between
They never
them.
run 15 minutes.
But, well, some do.
And
But we
typically,
start at 7.
right.
We have the first hearing at 7.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, okay. We could do
So
that.
then, when we have a short discussion business, we can
Right.
go right into the first hearing.
Oh,
But see, it's already been, will be advertised, so I don't always know when I put the ad in the paper, I don't know that we're gonna have a short discussion. I mean, some of the
I know,
discussions
but-
have gone to.
But so what?
But we also have the ability to change the
Oh,
order of the agenda.
that's true. Okay,
If we
all right.
have a long list
Okay.
of discussions, or if one discussion takes
Okay.
longer than we thought.
All right, so we'll start the hearings at 7. That's
Yeah.
a good idea. Okay. 'Cause,
But
mean-
I still think we should keep them in order so we don't have everybody here.
Yeah.
Everybody's here all at once anyway.
Well, for the most part.
Yeah.
But not, I mean, there have been times when the abutters have
Yeah.
come in based on the clock.
Yeah, and typically, even our discussions don't go that long, so if they have to wait, they have to wait.
Tonight, well,
All right, so we'll start at 7 then, okay.
Right. Trying to think, is there anything else?
The Griffith, that parcel they were trying to, the mini grant, they got, it's been a process to get the invoice paid, because the town has to come up with the 20,000 and then it gets reimbursed. Anyway, it was a process. Anyway, it's good.
It's
Thanks
good.
to Craig.
Oh, okay.
He's like so smart. I love him.
It's good.
chauffeur,
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's
He is
like
good. He
really
was
sharp.
at RDA last night.
good kid, he knows his
Oh
stuff.
my God,
does.
he's like, yeah. He's doing all the finance stuff now, right?
Who is that?
Who's this?
Craig Shaw, the
Craig.
Assistant
He's the
Finance
assessor.
Director.
Yeah.
He's the-
And he
well,
does- he's doing the
actually
finance and stuff?
Assistant finance director, and he's the,
Yeah.
he's the,
Yeah.
he runs the assessing office.
Yeah, young kid, but I mean, really
Yeah,
very
he's-
sharp.
He's out of Rockland Trust.
Yeah, Kathy, they brought him in, right?
Yeah, he's a great kid.
I told him he should run for town administrator.
Not ready,
He might.
not ready for, he wasn't even ready to step up as finance director.
Oh, he wasn't?
He's gonna be great, but someday. He's just not ready
Oh,
yet.
so, and is that Meg's position?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did they have anybody for that?
I think they did a contract last night. I don't know. I haven't heard the details.
Huh.
All right, we got 5 minutes, then we can go again.
There's nobody else gonna walk through that door.
No. This isn't a controversial thing, but.
What if your neighbor's watching?
don't really care.
You haven't gotten the call yet.
You can make a motion.
What's that, make a motion to open early?
Well, I suppose you could do that.
I make a motion that we take the 41 North Main Street hearing right now.
Do I have a second? You
Second.
All right, it's been moved and second that we move the hearing for 41 North Main Street ahead by 4 minutes to,
Heavens. Heavens.
heaven, to right now. So, notice is hereby given in accordance.
We didn't vote.
I know. Now, notice is hereby given in accordance with the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, MGL. I wasn't going to read it till 7:15.
Now he's going to read slow. Now you're going to read slow. Yeah, I know.
And the Carver Wetlands Protection Bylaw, that a public hearing will be held at 7:12 on Wednesday, July 12th, 2021, in Meeting Room 1 at the Carver Town Hall to hear the notice of intent submitted on behalf of Alicia Fernandez for the construction of a single-family dwelling with associated subsurface sewage disposal system, utilities, and grading within a 65 and/or 100-foot buffer zone to wetland resource area bordering a vegetated wetland, which is a cranberry bog. The existing dwelling will be demolished following the construction of the new dwelling. The applicant is requesting a variance from the Carver Wetlands Protection Bylaw, Section 9.2.1.3/3, for the activities within the 65-foot buffer protected under the bylaw, and a variance under Section 9.2.1.3/4 for the construction of a residential dwelling within 100 feet of a cranberry bog.
Hi, good evening. My name is Steve Katowski. I'm from Webby Engineering. I'm here tonight with Alicia Fernandez and her father, Dom Fernandez. So as was stated in the public hearing notice, the applicant is proposing to demolish the existing home that is at 41 North Main Street, right on Route 58, a little bit, maybe about a mile up the road. And the resource area that they're going to be doing work within is the cranberry bog that abuts the property that is owned by her father. So Dom Fernandez owns the cranberry bog that's on this property. The existing lot is right here with the house that's I have highlighted in yellow. Currently, the house is 56 feet away from the edge of the wetlands, the cranberry bog. We located that by survey. It's kind of obvious, the top of the bog area. There is no vegetation between the existing house and the cranberry bog, and there's no vegetation currently between the proposed house location and where the cranberry bog is also. So what the applicant wanted to do was to maintain that same setback that's already there. So that's why we're asking to have you waive your, vary your requirement of the 65-foot to 56. The reason for that is part of what Alicia wants to do is move the house further back from the road. As you know, Route 58 gets kind of busy, so we had to kind of push it back. We also had to place the septic system further in the back of the lot because of where the topography is, the wells on the abutting property along with their wells, so we've got those to kind of consider. And the placement of where the house is, there was some intention on down the road to maybe put an addition or a garage on to the left-hand side of the house. So that's why we've got it in the location where we've got it. It gives them a little room down the road to meet the zoning requirements to add a garage or an addition onto that side. As the pink line that I have highlighted here is the 65-foot, so you can see just a small portion of the proposed dwelling is there, along with, again, just kind of overlapping into where the the existing dwelling is. And the leaching field is located in this area up here. Before the hearing got started, they had mentioned to me that you had a site walk and you had some concerns about where the leaching field was located, and maybe to see if we could twist it a little bit or try to rotate it back away from the bog. And just looking at it, it looks like that's a possibility. The only thing we'd have to do is just kind of cut into the back of this hill. So as you can see, the topography goes from the edge of the bog all the way up to the top of the hill and just keeps going. So we were trying to kind of maintain the existing topography as best we could. The applicant doesn't have a problem, if that's a concern of the commission, with rotating this a little bit, cutting into that bank a little bit more. They may have to do a little bit of a retaining wall in the back, just because it is pretty steep. And as far as the contours, they look like close to a 2-to-1 slope, so they might have to do something to kind of fix that. But they're not opposed to that, if that's what the commission is looking for. So that's basically it, other than we're proposing a silt fence, basically along, there's an existing bog road that goes, actually, it kind of goes beyond this, all around the perimeter of the bog, but we've got the siltation fence just kind of along the edge of it. There's a little bit of vegetation in here. I'm calling it a tree line, but there's not really much for trees there. It's just more vegetation in that area. And so the siltation fence basically goes from where the existing house is in here. That'll encapsulate the limit of work for the proposed house and septic system. And they're going to use the existing well that's down in the front there, so they'll have to run a water line up to the new house location.
All right, we were all there today. Does anyone have any questions, concerns? Mr. Germain?
Believe me, if I lived on Main Street where you live, I'd want to move the house back too. So, that being said, I get it. The problem I have with the project is not this project. The problem I have with the project is a couple of previous ones that came to the commission, where they literally chopped a corner of the house off to keep it on the 65, and it still did not work for the commission. This comes over the 65. And then the septic is somewhat in the 65, and I say this over and over and over again, it's never this current application, it's the next 5 applicants, and this sets it. So I wonder, Steve, if we could we get the house edge to the 65 and still leave some room for a future garage? Could we get the septic completely out of the 65?
We can definitely get the septic. We looked at that before the hearing, and that looks like that's a possibility as far as the leaching field. There might be a little bit of grading and things like that we can do, and that's what I was kind of alluding to when we were talking about twisting it a little bit. So that shouldn't be a problem. As far as the septic, I mean, the house itself, if we, even that 9 feet, if you think about where we have a 30-foot side yard setback here in Carver, that would give her basically about a 20, leaving it the way it is, that gives her about 20 feet for a future garage. So if we were to push it the 9 feet, which is what you're looking for, that cuts that down to just about an 11-foot garage, so it doesn't really give much room for a garage down the road. So that's kind of the reason for it. Originally, actually, I had it drawn and maintaining the 65-foot, and then they were the ones who kind of asked me to reconsider that just because of the future plans that they may have. Again, it's kind of, if it's in this, if they were to, if you think of it this way, and I think that's the way that they were thinking of it, if they wanted to add on to the existing house, leave it in the same footprint, remodel it the whole 9 yards, they could do that. Everything, you know, the garage would be outside of that.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, so that was kind of their way of looking at it as well, and hoping that the commission would, you know, kind of agree with it.
Because the existing's already within the 60.
Well, I said that today, that, you know.
All right. Dan, Jim?
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with is the house and bog, are they located on one deed?
Yeah, they're on one deed, yep.
So that,
Okay.
So we'd require that remain
Yeah,
that way in
same
perpetuity.
owner.
Yeah.
We've done that before, too.
yeah, so that's good.
I was just going to say, eyeballing the square footage of the existing footprint to where the new one's being built, actually, I'm seeing less footprint in the 65 than
In the existing.
No, I agree.
in the existing now.
That's a good point.
So, and I think of all of us, I might be the most nitpicky about that kind of thing, so.
Yeah, he's the worst.
No, he's not.
I'm the easiest, and now this seems to be flipped tonight.
Yeah.
Can we can move the septic?
We can definitely move the septic. Like I said, it might be just a little bit of that grading, because right now we're kind of following the contour line, so if we have to twist it, there might be a little additional grading in the, between the 65. Right now, we got just the corner of it's kind of in that 65-foot over, towards the north side of the property.
Yeah.
So we might have to just add a little bit of grading in there, or we can talk about maybe like we were figuring a wall or something like that, but definitely we can do something.
For the record, I was the one who asked about that. I just saw wiggle room, and I didn't know if it could be canted.
Yeah, it was mostly, if we looked at it, but we would have to add some kind of retaining wall just because of the existing topography.
Okay.
But, they're willing to do that if that makes the commission happy.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
It wouldn't be much either. It's probably just a small stones really to kind of keep
Yeah,
that slope.
it's really not much
Yeah.
of an incline.
Yeah.
All right, I got a couple of things. I'm assuming because the footprint of the new house has some unique characteristics to it, that the house is already designed?
Yeah, I believe in the builder's here tonight too. He's the one that's working with the Fernandez to build
Okay.
their house.
And its orientation is set to be the way it is now? Because it looks like it's a little wider from the street than it is deep.
It's 34 feet wide,
Yeah,
and on one side it's 28 feet deep, and the other side it's 26.
okay. My question is, if you rotated the house 90 degrees, you'd move it out of the 65 feet?
Yeah, but then they
A little
can't
bit.
put a garage on.
Well, that's why I asked if it was designed already. That was the reason for my
You're going to
question.
face the bog, really.
No, the wide side faces the road. Yeah, that's what I'd say. I just want to point out to the members of the board that the bylaws in this particular case, since it's next to a cranberry bog, the variance is required from 100 feet. So it's a 100-foot no-touch zone in effect here, not really a 65.
Yeah.
Right.
So the entire structure is,
And the septic.
well, some of the, well, yes, all the septic right now, it'll be twisted to get out of the 65.
But it'll still require the variance.
Right.
Yeah,
Where is the current septic?
Do you guys have an idea where that is? I know it's to be abandoned, but is it behind, it's got to be behind the house then.
Yeah, it would be behind the old house and in front of the old new structure.
So it's in front of the pool?
It is actually just to the bog side of the pool, slightly in front of us.
To the bog side of the pool, so that, the
That
current,
gets it farther away, too.
so the current septic is all within the 100 feet from the bog also? Okay,
Yeah.
all right, okay. And the square feet of the dwelling, the new one, total?
About 1,800,
And the current one, a little more, 2,000?
I would say the other one is smaller.
Yeah, I would say the other one's probably 20 by,
Single-story home is there.
Yeah.
We're putting a two-story home.
Oh, okay. Oh, I suppose that I'm really looking at the footprint.
Footprint.
So it's about 900 on the bottom,
Okay?
first floor.
Because this, on the drawing, it looks like the current house is a little bit bigger footprint.
I think it's a little longer,
Okay.
narrower.
Okay.
I haven't really measured.
But more of it's within the 65. All right. We always like to cite precedent here. Mr. Germain was right in bringing up a case that's been part of our agenda over the last 6 to 8 months. But that is the construction of a new home, not including the elimination of another structure that was within the wetlands. So this kind of is getting rid of one to replace it. It's a similar, if not identical footprint, just in a different place. We had a project before us on Bow Street about 4 years ago where a new home was constructed adjacent to a cranberry bog within the 100-foot that we gave permission to, and one of the orders of conditions were that the home and the cranberry bog would always be one parcel. And that's what allowed us to feel comfortable doing that. So I think that that precedent has been set as long as that order of conditions
Yep.
is placed on this.
Yep.
I would totally want to move back, further back too. And that's Muddy Pond behind it, it's not John's Pond, it's Muddy
You're
Pond.
right, I thought so, right, the land,
So-
yeah,
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier.
yeah.
So,
Any abutters? No?
are there any abutters here on this particular project on 41 North Main Street? No? All right,
Make a motion, we close the hearing for 41 North Main Street, DEPSE 126624.
I'll second that.
it's been moved and seconded to close the hearing on 41 North Main Street, DEP SE 126-624. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, approved 4-0.
Make a motion, we approve the NOI for 41 North Main Street, DEP 126624, as drawn on plan dated May 19th, 2021. We'll sign this copy.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to approve the NOI for 41 North Main Street, NOI DEP SE 126-624, based on the plans.
Are you revising the plan with the
Yeah, it was-
septic, though? Do you want to have a revised?
That'll be in the order.
other words, if they're
We'll do
moving
it
the
in the order.
septic?
We'll do it in the order of conditions.
We'll do it as an as-built.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
In the order of
Yeah,
conditions.
I can just
I
put in
think-
the order that will just,
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, I
based on-
I don't think.
that's fine,
that-
just
Make you come back.
keep the septic
No, 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 no,
system
no,
65 feet off the,
Right, right.
Yeah, just twisting it.
Okay.
yeah.
So,
It's not Steve's first time at the rodeo here.
so anyway,
I just, you would sign the
vote.
plan. Yeah.
right, we need to vote. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, approved
Now.
4-0.
Make a motion, we approve the variance for 41 North Main Street, NOI DEPSE 126624, with the following conditions: that we will move the septic
You do?
out of the 65 as much as possible, and that the commission will provide an as-built, the builder will provide an as-built after the fact, and that the entire parcel, which is ID'd on this, is 1618-0, at 318,793 square feet, remain one parcel in perpetuity.
Second that.
Is that all we needed?
I think so. Plus any other conditions as put forth by the,
Yeah,
by the
makes sense.
Okay?
conservation agent. All right,
Second.
second, Jim seconded. All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the variance based on the conditions put forth by Mr. Jermaine and any standard conditions the conservation agent adds.
Yeah, it's as drawn.
Yeah, erosion controls, things like that.
So, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none?
I'm going to sign this.
4-0. We're going to sign this, we're going to ask you.
Steve, would you sign this?
To sign,
also? We're
the
gonna make a
plans that we
note
have.
on this plan that we talked about moving the septic, and then you can just give us an as-built when it's done.
Right. So we're all set?
Congratulations.
They've been wanting to do this before. So they don't sign it. Just saying, so it shows them, this is the plan that they approved. So you're just signing this one that they're signing.
All right.
Don't worry.
Should make a mistake for it now.
All
No,
right, all I did was put septic, we moved out of the 65 to the best of your ability. So, I mean, if there's a little tiny piece that's still in there because you couldn't put it anywhere else, I got no trouble with that. And neither do anybody. But you know what we're looking at. Like I said, it is the first day of the rodeo.
what's that?
Yep.
Dated today?
This is the pleasures of working with people that we know and trust.
What's the date on the plan? Actually,
May 19th.
May 19th.
2021.
yeah. Thanyou, Steve.
All right, thank you.
Don't get worried.
All right, thanks, everybody. Good night.
Thank you,
you.
Steve.
Good night.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. My kids said thank you.
Congratulations. Enjoy.
Yes.
Thank
When-
you.
When are you going to build? When do you start? Tomorrow?
Tom's got nothing else to do. Thank you. It's in the family and stuff, that's a kind of, you know what I mean?
And you know it's never gonna get broken up. What'll happen eventually is somewhere along the line, she'll move to the big house and that'll be her kid's house.
Right.
It's never gonna get sold.
No, he's always gonna have the bogs, probably, I mean,
All right, moving on. Lot number 6, Ewell Street. Notice is hereby given in accordance with the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, MGL, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Carver Wetlands Protection Bylaw, that a public hearing will be held at 7:30 PM on Wednesday, July 21st, 2021, in Meeting Room 1 at the Carver Town Hall to hear the request for determination of applicability, RDA, filed by K&G Development Corp. To determine, C, whether the work depicted in the reference plan is subject to the Wetlands Protection Act, and D, whether the area and/or work depicted on reference plan is subject to the jurisdiction of any municipal wetlands ordinance or bylaw of the town of Carver. The request is for grading and tree clearing within the 100 feet of resource area bordering vegetated wetland. The property is located at Ewell Street, Lot 6, Assessor's Map, PLAT 30-10-SF, Carver, Massachusetts. All interested parties are invited to attend.
We really have to stop meeting like this.
I know, yeah, it's a familiar face.
You're like a perpetual on the agenda.
And he brought extra plans so I wouldn't get yelled at. I did last.
So that we all have a plan tonight.
Oh, is it yours?
Oh, this one?
I love that too with Steve.
I got like tons of copies now.
Yeah, I guess not.
Okay. All right, so we,
Well, see, you were talking about the swale earlier.
Brooke and I were out there earlier today, and we found all the stakes, most of them. And thank you for providing the drawing with the numbers of the stakes. There's a lot of work going on out there.
Yep.
It's
This
getting
is,
busy.
Yeah, this is actually the last lot, I think.
Oh, is it?
Bring it to you guys. There's 2 other ones that are just Board of Health, because we're well outside the buffer zone.
Okay.
Oh, way up on the
So,
other side?
I think it's
Across
lot 7 and lot 9
Oh.
So this is it?
with you guys, yeah.
We'll have to say no to this one, just so we
Yep.
can't be like a home
You don't
run.
wanna look like you're being too easy.
Yeah,
Well, Dan will have to do that tonight. 'cause
yeah,
he's-
Dan will do it.
He's good at that.
Are you gonna fill in, I'm sorry,
Go right ahead.
are you gonna fill in that little bit of a swale that's there on that tree line? I guess that looks like the elevational drawings that drops pretty good. There's a hole there.
Yeah, that's a weird hole.
Are you gonna
But
take
anyway.
existing fill from the foundation area and try to level that out a little bit so a little kid doesn't go flying down that hole?
The marker number 50 along your tree line is
I actually gave you my
is
copy.
about 5 feet lower. Is about 5 feet lower than the rest of the grade around it, and it goes into a valley that seems to continue all the way down towards the wetlands. It's a pretty sharp cutoff.
Yeah, it's 10 feet.
It's a weird hole in there.
Yeah, and there seems to be quite a bit, there are some very old pine trees that are growing out of the side of the hill and straight up. And it just seemed a little odd to have the tree line there unless you were planning on filling.
You really can't fill in on the tree line. You'll kill the trees, but
Right.
So
Hole there.
we weren't planning on filling, that's just sort of where the point landed. So we just went off, that clearing line is just the approved subdivision clearing line, so.
Okay, so you're just
We're just
spacing
following
out
that,
your
yeah.
posts. Okay.
so are you gonna fill that hole in? You're not gonna fill it?
No, we're not planning on it. We can adjust that stake a little bit to follow that ridge, if that's
That might be better.
better. Yep, absolutely.
Right. What,
I'm not sure we'd have had a problem with filling the hole in, but we just didn't look like it was a safe thing to leave a hole like that.
It's a weird hole.
right.
I mean, it's weird, that whole thing looks like it
Yeah.
was dug out from something.
So,
The house is out.
Jim was there too. Do you have any comments?
No, everything's out of the 100.
Yeah,
Well, they're cutting trees within the 100. The house is out of the 100.
That's okay.
it's kind of like, I like the last one, actually, I think.
Right.
Tree cutting.
They're leaving the tree line up.
Yeah. They are, but that's going to probably change a little bit because of the canyon that's there. Now, the tree line along that's outside of our jurisdiction, but that's along the property line with, I guess, what is number 7,
Yes.
it seems to get a little bit wider heading out towards the well. Is that due to the proximity of the house next door that's in the plan to be built? You know?
So, yeah, this particular plan doesn't actually have that proposed footprint because we actually did it after this plan. I kind of made it a little wider just for a little extra privacy, an extra buffer between backyards.
Okay. All right.
I got no problem with it.
All right. One of the things that I thought when I saw this is if the tree line that's between the 165-foot buffer, if it could be just bumped out, so maybe it's always 80 feet away, because you've got a straight line here between.
Yeah, but they're gonna have no yard.
No, I'm not saying go to the 100-foot. I'm saying just the 100-foot is a curve here. And it's 20 feet towards the wetlands. This tree line could be that curve as well. It would just protect it a little bit more, but that's not a make or break. It was just something I thought about. But if they're not going to fill in the canyon and they're going to adjust the tree line to protect that, then that's going to take.
That's gonna self.
Right.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
would think it would.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, actually, that was something that I saw before where I saw the actual property.
yeah.
Usual stakes and stuff like that, the
Yeah.
wetland signs and the posts and
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
everything
the
was well
normal
marked.
stuff.
I mean, in fact, it was easy to find the well, it was easy to find
Yeah.
the building corners. Everything was okay. So, I will,
Dan? You're okay?
Yeah.
Jim?
Jim, you good?
No abutters?
Are there any abutters here? No.
Make a motion, we close the hearing for Lot 6 Yule Street.
Second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to close the hearing for Lot 6 Yule Street. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Make a
Any
motion to
negatives?
Approve
Any
the
noes?
RDA for Lot 6 Yule Street.
Hold on,
They-
hold on.
It's a negative.
Hearing none, approved 4-0. Now. We have to allow for the negatives.
I already wrote it down.
Okay, go ahead.
Make a motion, we approve the RDA for Lot 6 Yule Street. Is that one of them negative determination
Yeah,
things?
it's a negative.
It's a negative determination.
Yeah, meaning they don't have to file a notice, but we can still say.
Only the state would do
they're gonna
something
put
this
the posts
stupid. A negative determination for Lot 6 Yule Street for the RDA.
All right, second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to have a negative determination on the RDA for Lot 6 Yule Street. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? None?
It's so counterintuitive.
We're approved 4-0.
You don't like
Do you want to have
negatives?
them sign that plan?
Whatever you want to do.
Counterintuitive?
Yep.
A negative approval.
It is silly, isn't it? That's what
Only
we
the
want.
state could do something that's
I know.
stupid.
All right, we're just going to ask you to sign the plans so that we have,
Oh, I'm sorry, Ashley, the date of the plan is June 17th, 2021,
Thank you.
as drawn. Would you be so kind, anywhere you want to sign this one? And then the commission will sign over here.
all right.
Put down your checking account number.
Get your signature on all of these now, you're in trouble.
Social, next to the kid.
There you go, sir.
Zipping right along.
So you want a big one of these?
Yeah, we need something.
Yeah. I don't know if I have cycle, I don't think I have.
No, let me have the big one.
Yeah. I have 5 small ones.
You'll like the big ones. Just
This
give me
is-
the whole one.
All right. All set?
You're all set. Thank you very much. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rob.
Good luck with the rest of the plans.
Sometimes the small ones, you can't see. Right?
Right is-
You got enough of them?
Oh, I got plenty.
Okay.
Enough I could sell.
We need lighter plans.
Wish I got the news early.
Yeah. Less pages. Well, the trouble is the small plans.
Weighs about 40 pounds.
See them that well.
Yeah.
But then the big one's so big.
Gotta sign.
I know, it's either like the too big or the.
Where's the stamps? You can get
Should we
stamps.
come up with a, like a recycling plan for all these extra copies and stuff?
I know. True. Thank you, my dear.
Repurposing plan?
In every cycle line. Gil
Did
used
you read this
We
already?
could get surrounding monitors and just have everything up.
Not time.
Oh,
Be
yeah?
all
Give me a minute.
paperless,
Yeah.
except for the one copy to sign.
We'd have some sleazeball with every train. It's both fast one. We wouldn't have records of it.
All right.
Sheet C31
Yeah.
is us.
Well, sheet C4 one is a little bit more detailed.
All right.
What sheet are you showing us?
I've got 3-1 and 4-1. I'll probably be talking about 4-1 the most.
4-1, I think,
Yeah.
is more detailed. In full and fair disclosure, I want to say that I've had ice cream from Erickson's.
And you and everybody else, bro.
Well, you know,
In full disclosure, I was there yesterday.
Oh, my God.
So. And Sunday. Full
oh
disclosure.
well then, there's another abstention.
Yeah. Okay. 287 Tremont Street. Notice is hereby given in accordance with the Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, MGL, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Carver Wetlands Protection Bylaw, that a public hearing will be held at 7:45 PM on Wednesday, July 21st, 2021, in Meeting Room 1 at the Carver Town Hall to hear the notice of intent submitted on behalf of JCM Carver Acquisitions for the proposed removal of the existing ice cream shop and garage and construction of a new shop and storage building with associated parking, landscaping, grading, and stormwater improvements. Portions of the project work area are within the 200-foot riverfront, 100-foot buffer, and within the 65-foot buffer. The work within the 65-foot buffer will require a variance from the Carver Wetlands Protection Bylaw. The project is located at 287 Tremont Street, Carver, Massachusetts, map 94, lot 5-0-R. All interested parties are invited to attend. Okay?
So for the record, I'm Josh Green from Merrill Engineers and Land Surveyors. As mentioned, the site's 287 Tremont Street. And under existing conditions, there's an existing ice cream shop located right about here in the underlay, as well as a storage shed over here. A small shed exists in the middle of the property, but outside the buffer areas. As far as resource areas impacting the site, to the east, there is a perennial stream with an associated bordering vegetated wetland. that will project a 65-foot buffer and 100-foot buffer onto the site. To the north, there's another bordering vegetated wetland that will project the same 65 and 100-foot buffer onto the site. Finally, to the west, there is a bog that will project the same as the first three, 65-foot buffer and 100-foot buffer onto the site. The perennial stream does have a 100-foot and 200-foot riverfront area that's shown in yellow on the plan. As far as proposed conditions, the applicant is looking to construct a new ice cream shop located in this area, as well as a new proposed storage garage in this area. The storage garage is completely outside of buffer zones and resource areas. There will be a small expansion in the parking area in this area here, but same as the storage shed or storage garage, it'll be outside of the buffer areas. The parking area within the buffer zones is similar to the existing gravel parking area. The proposed parking area will be paved instead of gravel. It will be bermed up to control the stormwater, which will be directed to two DEP-compliant stormwater systems. Those systems are located to the southern portion of the lot and the northern. They both consist of a pea-stone diaphragm where the berm will break, the water will be directed into that pea-stone diaphragm, and then overflow into a grass strip, which will be directed to a sediment forebay. Once the sediment can settle out in that forebay, it'll discharge into the rain gardens. The rain gardens will then, in the larger storms, overflow on the weirs that are shown on the plan here and here. That'll be treating the parking area to the extent practicable. There are dry wells for the proposed buildings to infiltrate that. As far as stormwater runoff, the post-construction rates and volumes will be met in post-construction versus pre-construction. So there will be no increase in flow on that. Besides that, there will be erosion control on the down gradient portions of the lot, here and here. And with that, I think I'll just open up to any questions.
We were all there.
Determined I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, I was just going to say we were all there today, so anyone can start with any
Who
questions.
determined the wetlands on the northeast side of that?
Brad Holmes?
I was going to say, I believe it was Brad Holmes, but let me just confirm that on our existing conditions. It should be
It
on,
was Brad, that's what Chris said.
okay.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
on, I believe, sheet 2,
yeah.
note 6 under environmental notes. Thank you.
They're gonna rent out the garages, I take it?
I'm not entirely sure that I can get that answer for you.
Well, they'd have to. It's 3 separate bays with 3 separate bathrooms.
My guess would be yes then.
It's like a rental unit to me.
Sounds like it.
I'm not entirely sure, but it does seem it.
Don't they need planning board approval for that, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's, I think it's important to know that. And even though the storage area is outside of our jurisdiction, the 4 parking spots across the way from it are not. And, you know, if one of those bays becomes some kind of a mechanic or anything with,
Mosquito Joe, or...
yeah, anything with something that could contaminate the water, that's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
If there's leakage coming out of any vehicle that's parked in those 4 spaces within 100 feet.
Well, not just there, but all the way down. They're gonna use those 4 spaces, and any of that overflow could wind up down in this other edge over here,
That's true, but
in the in and out, so, you know, we need to know what's going on with that. It certainly isn't a storage building,
yeah,
not with 3 separate bathrooms and 3 bays.
agreed.
And I'm willing to bet that there's utilities. Obviously, there's water. There has to be lights.
Yeah, there's an electrical service going to it.
So you know, that kind of takes away the storage idea. And you're right, there's 4 parking spaces over there that, depending upon who goes into that storage garage or who uses those 3 bays, who knows what they're gonna park there, and now that's parking within the 100, and then you're asking for asphalt pavement on top of the 100, which typically we're not crazy about. We just did one in North Carver where they put down impervious surface to around their building because the asphalt was gonna run within the 100. And they took that they're not doing that, they're putting in a pervious asphalt, which I understand is more difficult to maintain, but again, we go back to precedence. We just had someone do the exact same thing in North Carver, so now how do we sit back and say, yeah, don't worry about it on your plan?
I do have one comment on that. We had a technical, review committee meeting on this. And Andy Glines from Fuss and O'Neill, who does the planning board reviews, we talked about the impervious surface and stuff, and he said he knows the concerns that the commission has. He said, but because of the way this particular stormwater system is designed, it's better that this be paved. So his recommendation is going to be to pave because of the way that stormwater design is designed with the whatever, the little rain garden and all the other stuff. So it works better in this situation.
All right, so it's better to have the water run off
Yeah.
into this controlled
Yeah.
area.
Because
Yeah,
it's
be
got-
almost-
What do you call those little things that leach out the?
It'd be the Keystone diaphragm that go into a
yes,
gas strip.
diaphragm.
I mean,
Yeah.
there'd be almost two
That's
things
not
for
what's
that.
being done in North Carver, so that
No,
takes care
no,
of
it's
the
not.
precedent, so.
Yeah,
we're
this
good.
is way different.
Yeah, because normally the difference is infiltration mostly and then treatment,
Okay.
where a gravel might provide some infiltration.
Right.
This is providing a significant more amount by directing into the stormwater.
Plus you have the rain garden and everything too that's gonna,
Yeah, I still want to know what's happening with the garage.
I think we should know what,
Would that depend on what planning board says?
it would depend on what planning board allows.
And you go to planning board next week, I think?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it is.
So Tom would have the answer to that
I
one,
think
but
it's Tuesday.
I'm gonna motion.
I mean, I know that's gonna be an issue with the planning board because, Jim Walsh has brought it up.
Okay,
Should we continue this so we can,
Well, I'd like to hear from the abutters too.
okay, I think in fairness, I agree that we should continue this till we get the answers, but let's go over everything else. Let's make sure we have everything else covered that we can.
I don't see a problem with any of the rest of it, we're there today.
Right.
And it's pretty much already built on. It's not,
Yeah,
a
Right.
lot of new.
yeah, I think they've tripped over themselves as far as how they're gonna do the rainwater
Yeah.
containment and so forth and so on. Where's this, the septic is in this, underneath the,
septic's existing. It's back here.
Oh, septic's way in the back. Oh, okay.
Okay, existing, not changing.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just staying how it is.
and that septic's gonna be adequate
That would,
for,
yeah, it should be sized to control the same use. The use is the same as far as the ice cream shop. There wouldn't be an expansion in that area.
well, it says it's gonna be increased. Am I reading this right?
The surface area, but that's not, Title V doesn't
Okay.
go off that, the surface area for something like that. It'd be seats or people that would be used, so that wouldn't change regardless of the park. It would go more off the parking area than the size of the building.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity, is this going to be an indoor ice cream shop now, as opposed to walk-up windows?
I don't
think so.
I need to get the answer. I don't think that,
Sitting outside.
yeah, a significant portion of that footprint that looks like the footprint is actually an overhang.
Oh, okay.
So-
I didn't, okay.
Yeah, it's a little tricky to see it.
Okay. And this will take care of the lake that forms in the current parking lot.
oh, does it? The flood?
There's a lot of water there. It's been a problem for a while.
Huh.
Years.
So it must not be a lot of sand then. It must be.
Well, I think the drain is kind of probably clogged because
Yeah,
it's gravel and dirt.
Oh, that's
Goes right
catch
into
basin.
it.
Yeah.
All right, this is outside of our jurisdiction, but it's something I noticed today when we were there looking at the plan. The 4 parking spots that are closest to the island separating the parking area from Tremont Street, that forces forces traffic to go around all of the parking if they want to go out a different way that they came in. And that kind of puts a lot of cars where kids are now going to be walking back and forth. And right now where, cars pull right up to the front of the building, kids are clueless. They're running around, and it's very dangerous now without them having to cross a traffic pattern. So it's just something that I happen to notice. It has nothing to do with our vote tonight, but it may be something you want to look at or just ask the owners about.
Certainly ask the question.
Yeah,
They're packing a lot of stuff in a small space.
They are, and I know they get busy, but, I think if someone's going south on 58, they're parked in that corner, they're probably going to drive all the way around the rest of the cars instead of going out the north entrance. And it seems to me to be a little bit more potentially dangerous than the current situation. I don't have any other questions on this, but I do think we need to find out, find out whatever planning says and usage of what's going into that proposed storage garage. Now, at this point, do the abutters have any concerns, questions, comments?
Yeah, I got quite a few.
All right. Fran, is this microphone on here? Okay.
We got a sign-in sheet?
Yeah.
Side.
Yep, this one there.
You got to sign it, man.
Yeah.
Well, first is, the question I have is...
Can you just identify yourself, please? We know who you are, but...
I'm James E. Weston, Weston Brothers Cranberries. We own the property all the way around the presumed project. And we are concerned about water quality because we have a pump that's not more than 100 feet from where they are. And the river goes right there, Cranebrook River. And the question I have is, right now, all the land is permeable. Where it rains, it goes right in the ground eventually, and we have no problem with that. But once you pave everything, we have no idea what's going to land on the parking lot. It's going to run, and we've seen the two kidney-shaped retention ponds, but on the backside of both of them, when it fills up to a certain point, it's going to run over, and there's no way it can stay on the property. So that means it's going to run on our property, and I don't want it in any shape or form coming on my property. Never mind going in the river. Because they're going to fill up eventually, and that's what those little, you see the little granular, like flumes on the backside. Well, that's to empty it. That's pretty obvious. And now you brought up something else about that other building, that if it has septic too, how many different septics are we going to be using in there?
Can I address those?
Yeah.
So first thing on the stormwater, we've done the calculations to show that it's reduced in post-construction versus pre-construction. So there'd be less runoff in post than pre. So less runoff than it currently is with that stormwater system. I know going from pavement to gravel seems counterintuitive as far as the runoff, but it's being controlled within those. As far as the weir, that's for larger storms, like a 100-year storm. So statistically.
We've been getting those every 3 days.
Yes, that's true. This is
All right, so, I don't want to be disrespectful. I've been listening to this for 9 years, living on Pine Street, where I heard about, well, it's only going to be bad in a 100-year storm, and we had 6 inside of 6 weeks. So that doesn't hold any weight with me personally on this board at all, ever again.
Well, on that property, our bog is right there. We have had 7 inches of rain in 15 days. Counting all the different storms.
We had a 100-year storm 3 days ago because the water came across the sidewalk at Edaville. So, and then we had a 100-year storm a week before that. So the 100-year stuff doesn't work anymore.
As far as the weir, that's just to allow for that point. So when it gets to those rains, it'll discharge to that point. But even when that occurs, it'll still be less in post than it will be in pre, or at least metered.
So I guess the gentleman's question, next question is going to be is, so when it does finally run over that, and the water goes where he's telling you he doesn't want it to go, now what?
Well, currently, most of it goes, generally the site drains to the catch basin, which goes to the pipe, then goes to this wetland.
right.
So it's going to where it currently is, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else wants to see it, but it pretty much goes there. Most of this stormwater from this parking area is being discharged there anyway.
Sorry.
So what it's currently doing now is what it will continue to do in the larger storms.
So in other words, it's going where it shouldn't have gone to start with.
That probably goes back to when they built the place.
I'm going to say it's under the existing conditions. We're just,
Well, that's fine,
that's the,
Andy, but the people that own the property around it, at the time Mary Corbin,
You can't.
I'm sure they didn't know
Property.
that was gonna be running on their property.
This property.
well, it's not a direct discharge onto it.
Well, it's like I mentioned to Brooke, I says, we have the cranberry bogs behind the property, and we have a canal there, and I can't take my backhoe and just open the canal up and let my water drain over your property, so how come it's the other way around, it seems to be okay? I mean, you can't have it both ways. I mean, the way it is now, I have no problem with it, but that paving in the parking lot, you know well as I do, the antifreeze, the oil we see, and we have quality control issues with Ocean Spray, and things have to be up to snuff, and we can't have anything getting in that river.
Can I respond to that?
Yeah.
Mr. Chair?
yes.
That's why there are multiple levels of pretreatment on those systems. We plan on treating that stormwater that comes off that. Gravel will compact over time and cause the same or very similar runoff to pavement. So again, it's a redevelopment project, and I fully believe that what we are proposing here is better than what is under existing conditions.
Is there anything, and I'm just asking out of curiosity, is there anything that can be done to increase the capacity of the retention ponds?
They can be increased in size. The wicks that are proposed on those are, depending on the soil, it's considered above and beyond because it's going to infiltrate better. As far as capacity on the storm, are you referencing more like the 100-year issue we were discussing prior, or the treatment?
Probably more like a volume, the 100-year.
Volume, your best bet would be to increase the size of them. That'd be where they're located. You'd be impacting more of the buffer zone. Would be our main concern.
But the water's already going there anyway.
It can definitely be looked at. I
So then
mean,
it can certainly impact the buffer zone, because if we do nothing, it's gonna go there anyway.
Right.
Right,
So there is no impact to the buffer zone that isn't already impacted.
right. And it lessens the impact on the abutters.
And I understand what he's saying. Only because I've been getting street runoff down my driveway for 9 years, up until last year when they finally fixed it. And I don't want somebody else's water coming on my property, and I live with it. So
Well,
I get it.
This is the pavement versus not pavement. I mean, there's quite a bit of difference, because if, like you
A lot of
mentioned, the
asphalt.
puddle in front of Erickson's now, yeah, it's a nuisance, and it goes away though. And obviously it soaks in, or whatever it does, and
Drops down there.
but once you pave it, I mean, then nothing's running off. I mean, nothing's soaking in, it's going directly somewhere.
Well, it's all going into the basins, though.
Provided it's pitched
Right.
in.
And not to mention, you're putting a 4,000 square foot building out there that's not there now.
Yep.
And that's gonna have runoff too.
4,500.
Yeah. And you mentioned something about, that you think it may be rented, whatever they do with that, that's their business, but, if you start getting other people in there besides, I mean, we've been concerned about a drive-through getting in there. Because, as you well know, if you have a drive-through, it automatically increases the water usage in a well. 3,200 gallons, I believe, a day. And if that happens, then the well circle into our cranberry bog increases. And so that's another issue we have.
There's no indication on the plans of anything around the proposed storage garage, 50 by 90 feet, nothing to show drainage or pools or trap
It's
water.
out of the, it's out of the 100, so it was not in our purview.
Could I address it, though? There is multiple dry wells that are going to control both structures. So that will be infiltrated as well. That's going in the ground.
Yeah, but the corner of that garage is right on the 100-foot offset line from the well.
Corner of the storage garage, yep.
Yep.
I really want to know what the planning wants to do with this plan before we do anything, and I want to know what's going on with that garage building. And I'm still not crazy about the asphalt.
The applicants have given you no information as to what they plan to do with that garage?
I'm not sure. The engineer who did the project wasn't able to attend, so he knows more than I do.
I don't think he knows either. I think
He didn't
I
know.
was- I don't
We
think that
asked
they
it.
I was
told
going
him.
to say, I can't speak to that one, but
That was brought
yeah.
up before, yeah.
unfortunately, I can't. I'm not sure.
Hopefully by the next time you'll be able to have that information, because we'll want it.
Yeah, this,
Well, it's certainly increasing the building sizes, that's for sure. If you add up the square footage of what's there now compared to what's gonna be there, it's gonna be quite sufficient,
yeah, it's
quite a bit
big.
more.
I'd like to see the drainage area increased in its size. I'd like you to plan for the 200-year storm, which is like every 6 months instead of the 100-year. I'm not trying to be sarcastic, but I know that we use that as the term, but we have gotten 7, 8 inches of rain.
7 inches of rain in 15 days.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Can they make it big?
you know, unfortunately, you can't say that's unusual because apparently it's not anymore. This isn't Arizona. So, you know, I'm not crazy about the asphalt, and I'm not crazy about the 4 parking spaces in the 100. I don't know what's going on with the storage building, and I have a very concerned abutter in front of me who has every business to be here because he owns everything around you that is agricultural, and this is commercial. So we're not just trying to replace what's there, we're trying to replace and enlarge and increase and grow. And that's, if they were trying to put back a new ice cream stand, great. But they're trying to put back an ice cream stand with a whole lot of increased capacity and a 4,500 square foot, 3-bay, separate bathroom in each bay garage they're calling a storage building. And it doesn't add up to me. There's too much going on this site. I want to know what planning's going to do, and I want to see some adjustments made with this runoff situation. Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Am I safe in assuming that the southernmost retention basin is probably easier to enlarge than the northern one?
I mean, the
A little
one,
bit more room?
or this one.
That's
The one
south,
to
the one on your
Yeah,
left.
to the left.
As long as you can pitch it that way,
That's what I was thinking.
because this is all going to run into it, and this is going to run into it, and you got, where are the street drains that are out on Tremont Street, and where's that water going to go? It's not just this now, unless you're going to have a hump going into that parking lot, because right now you come in and you go down. So some of the water that's in that parking lot must come from the street.
Right.
So if there are drains out in the street, where is that water going?
Does it drain into the street now? or
I
the other way?
don't know. I
No,
would
no,
imagine
it's
it drains
a
the other way.
basin now. and
Oh, it
it
just
goes,
sits
it's
there.
gravel. It goes in and
Right,
and
sits,
it's
yeah.
wet for, you know, if we, an inch of rain, it's wet
Right.
for 2 days.
Right.
And then it's gone, as Jim said.
Yeah.
So, I'm just wondering if, you know, changing the elevation to, if that's the one that's easier to make bigger.
Well, you could make this one much bigger.
Yeah,
You
and then
want
just
to.
pitch
you
it more,
bring
change
up-
the,
Up behind the building almost.
yeah, have
Well, you
less.
got-
Side.
You got a proposed snow storage area that you'd have to run over the grass to get to anyway. So they could, and just increase that
No, that's
size of that
paved.
basin. No, it isn't. Not over here. Proposed snow area. Oh, it's
No,
that
it's here.
arrow's
It's
right
here.
there.
Yeah.
So they could make this bigger going this way.
That's what I was thinking. And
Which way, Ron?
move the
Up,
pitch.
like
Coming
move it
up this way.
Right.
We can certainly look at that. The only thing I'd ask is the consideration of taking more of the area of the riverfront, because that one's within a resource, the other one's within a buffer.
Yeah, I'm more inclined to give the break on the riverfront only because there's a road that crosses it. It's called Tremont Street.
Yep, I just want to ask the question.
It's already in the river.
You know, I'm a little bit less inclined to protect that area just because there's a road there.
Well, I'm inclined to do whatever needs to be done to capture as much water as
Yeah, I am too.
possible.
And I want to make sure that
all
the
times.
abutters are content.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to see this come back with, it didn't work.
Right.
It's awful hard to put that horse back in the corral when it's out.
I think just with the increased size of the square footage of new structure on that property is equally an issue as paving
Yeah.
the parking lot.
Yeah.
Got a lot of water running off that garage roof,
Lot
too.
of runoff.
Yeah.
One question I did have is, with Erickson's Ice Cream, I believe right now you have 1,000 gallons of water a day permit from the DEP?
As far as the well,
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the number is on it.
I believe, they came before us, I think 10, 15 years ago. And we went to the DEP and checked on it because they wanted to get a drive-through, which I don't blame them. But once you do that, your well usage goes up, I believe it's 3,200 gallons a day for a drive-through. Well, my question now is, you're not planning on the drive-through, obviously.
No.
As far as I know right now, absolutely.
Okay, and then the next question I have with this new building also, in the usage in the ice cream shop, have they done any numbers on the gallons of water they use per day? With the ice cream shop the way it is now, the house is gone. If you have the new building there and you have 3 different parcels rented out, how much projected water usage is that? Along with the ice cream shop, do you end up going over 1,000 gallons a day? The reason I ask that, because if you do, you have to increase the size of the well circle. That's what I'm getting at.
That can certainly ask the question. I
Yeah.
don't know the answer off the top of my head.
That's why I question the septic also, because now the existing house, I'm sure, didn't have 3 full bathrooms in it. This garage, the garage alone has 3
It would
bathrooms.
have to be bigger, the septic. I
So,
would think. I
you
don't
know, and then you got septic coming out of, I'm sure there's going to be a bathroom in Erickson's.
Although septic's not bathrooms, it's bedrooms, isn't it?
Yeah, they don't have a,
It's 2 different comparisons. So warehouse stuff, square
Right.
footage, chances are it's going to be less of a requirement as far as Title V is concerned, but
Okay,
I
well-
don't know the numbers off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, there is no floor plan of
Did they already
Erickson's.
get Board of Health approval?
I'm not sure.
I'm going to make a motion to continue this.
So you'd want to wait, well, yeah, so wait till after, well,
Yeah.
anyway, wait till the 18th.
I want to know what's going on with the garages, and I want to see what planning's going to do.
Because planning will continue it, I guarantee.
Uh-huh.
You're going to go to the planning board meeting, right?
Yeah, I believe that meeting is next Wednesday.
Next Tuesday? I think Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Usually they're Tuesdays, yeah. Check and make sure, but I think it's next Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, it's the
But
27th.
definitely go to that, because that's going to be a big thing for them. You know, what Jim Walsh said, because he was questioning, what the
Even
storage
look in the
building
front,
was for and stuff too.
the overall, I mean, look where the river really is. It's way, you know what I mean?
And the riverfront isn't really that big of a deal here, because it's already degraded. It's like, there's no habitat. The riverfront is gone. So as far as putting, more of a stormwater stuff, it really wouldn't matter.
What does this say? DEP 126 what?
626? Oh, the number?
That's a
Yeah,
6?
626. We got it after they wrote the agenda.
Can't read the second 6. Anybody else?
Anybody else comments? We're going to continue it?
Yeah, please.
Make a motion to continue the hearing for 287 Tremont Street, DEP SE 126-626 to August.
Our next meeting will be the 18th.
18th, yeah.
And
August.
chances are the planning board's one's probably gonna get continued anyway.
Doesn't
So if
matter.
that get continued, that's gonna be till end of August, so.
To August 18th, 2021. At such time, we'd like to have an indication on what is going on with the storage building and a revised plan for the runoff in the,
The increase in this,
Well,
whatever.
a revised
just a revised
plan,
plan for the
a
runoff.
revised plan showing greater capacity of the retention
Okay,
areas.
that works.
It's been seconded by Jim. I would also like, when you come back, if they exist, and I'm sure they do, we do have a floor plan of the storage structure, which showed that it was 3 bays with 3 steps and mezzanines and bathrooms. If there is a floor plan of the actual ice cream shop, I'd like to see that too, because that'll show us if there is indoor
Well, it's gonna be
restrooms.
wash sinks and at least
Well-
a restroom for the employees.
Yeah, yeah, so, I'd like to see that if possible.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
Just as part of the plan.
Yep.
Floor plan of the new ice cream.
Of the ice cream facility itself. All right, it's been moved and seconded to continue 287 Tremont Street, NOI DEP SC 126-626 to Wednesday, August 18th, 2021. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Approved unanimously.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Have a good evening.
Okay.
Okay,
I'd like to point out, the index here, A4.1.
Oh, yeah,
says
ice cream floor.
shop floor.
Just wondered it.
Oh, that A4.1 doesn't have any kind of,
right, it's an elevation.
It's an elevation.
Right.
that's,
Yeah, did you hear?
He doesn't care.
I can't remember his name. Who was it?
Excuse me, sir? We had one point over.
Did-
Oh, Josh.
Josh? Jim just pointed out that on your index,
Says A41 is a floor plan, and it's an elevation.
yeah,
A41
there is
ice cream
one?
shop floor
if you
plan.
look here,
A41.
if you look here,
elevation.
your index at
No, we
A41
don't.
ice cream shop floor plan, and in fact, it is an elevation.
I know I have.
No problem, no problem.
make sure that they're.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks very
Yelling
much.
Tom for sending you to the meeting.
My favorite time. Motion to adjourn?
Now you know why he sent you.
We have a motion to adjourn, second?
Thank you, Josh.
Jim seconded, motion, moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None? We're out.
Toodaloo.